properties of triangles to find missing measures. So, what do we know about isosceles triangles? What is the same? Guys, it's up here. Let's read. It's up here. And we can also open our notes. Let's not just shout things out. So what do we know about isosceles triangles? Two sides are congruent. And what about the angles? Two of them are congruent. Awesome. Now, this says that if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angles opposite of those sides are congruent. So we have a ticky on AC, and we also have a ticky on BC. Now, yes. What angle is opposite of AC?
BC.
What angle is opposite? 2. Angle B, 2. And so that is going to be congruent to angle 1. So since those two are congruent, put moons on those. Is everybody with me? Nazaro, are you ready? Alright, now, we said that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent because the opposite sides are congruent. Now, the opposite is true. If two angles are congruent, then the opposite sides are congruent. So, DE is congruent to what? FE. Take a point. Because these two are congruent, that means that the opposite sides are congruent. I need y'all to really stop talking. Thanks, love you. I don't know about that. I do love you. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to apply that to some problems. Now, it says that BC is congruent to BA. So let's put tickies on those. What does that mean about angle A and angle C? They're congruent. So put little moons on those. Yes, you can take a point. Now, if they are congruent, what can we do with the two measures to find x? Set them equal. Take a point. So we say 5x minus 10 equals 4x plus 5. Who can help me solve that problem? Come on. You do subtract 4x from both sides. And you get x minus 10 equals 5. And then what do you do? And x equals 15. Dun, 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 dun. Now, do the directions say to find x or find the measure of the angles? So we're done. That's it. That's all you do. And you move on.
That's all?
That's it.
I got a question.
Is it about this?
Yeah, Mom, I got a question.
Alright, write it on a sticky note and save it till the end of class. Alright, number 2. Does anybody have any questions on number 1 before we go to number 2? Okay, number 2. It says to find x. Now, if the angles are congruent, what does that mean about the sides? So put tickies right here. So what are we going to do with those two things since they're congruent? So we're going to say 2x equals 3x minus 13. Now, are we going to subtract the 2x or the 3x? The 3, because we're going to move it over here to the 2. And what is 2x minus 3x? Negative x equals negative 13. And what do I do to find x? And x equals 13. Did it ask us to find x or did it ask us to find the sides? And we're done. If you can do number 4, which is the exact same as what we just did, you can earn another point. So do number 4 without me. Apply what we just did to number 4.
You want to come and check it?
Sure.
Okay. Wait, hold
You
on.
can do it.
Yes.
Since they're both, since CQ congruent CR with 2x.
That's number 3.
And 3, yeah.
I want you to do number 4. We're going to come back to number 3 in a minute. You're okay. I just want you to do number 4 right now.
Yes, but this one doesn't say anything.
What, mister?
It doesn't say anything. Like find it.
It does. It says find the value of each variable above it. Right there. Find the value of each variable. Yes. So if you have moons that are congruent, the moons mean the angles are congruent. What does that mean about the sides? Okay, so we really don't need me, do we? Okay, work these out. For this problem right now, you don't need me. Not for like life. I know that you need me, baby, but I want you to do this problem.
I really wanted this back then. Coming upside down too. Wow.
Just throw it away.
Can I eat more? No.
Yes, you can have more.
Wait, Miss Abby, who's subtract 3 from 2 or 2 from 3?
It depends on how you set it up.
Okay, I did.
Cheap picks.
What? What would you do for the answer? I got.
Yeah, just put the other number in.
Yeah, good. Okay, guys, you do 3x minus 6 equals 2x plus 6, right? Then you subtract 2x, and you get x minus 6 equals 6. Then you add 6, and you get x equals 12. You don't have to plug it in. It just says find the value of the variable.
Where'd you get 30 from? I said plug it in.
I saw the number
Each
6.
variable.
Oh, you got excited. Okay, did everybody get 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
But I don't know. I know what I did.
okay, are you sure?
Yeah.
So we can move on to number 3? Okay, now, number 3 is a super fun problem because we have to apply what we know about triangles. Now, what do we know about the sum of the angles of a triangle? They're 180. So, if we have one angle right here, we can do 180 minus 40, and that gives us what?
140.
We should be a little quicker than that, guys. Let's try it again. What is 180 minus 40?
140.
And Riley, you get a point for answering first.
Oh, here we go.
Now, what do we know about angle Q and angle R?
They're the same.
Why are they the same?
No.
Because the sides are the same. Good, take a point. So, what could we do? What could we do to find the measure of one of these angles with this?
Divide 140 by 2.
Divide 140 by 2. And you get? But it asks us to find x, right? So what are we going to set 2x equal to? 70. Now, everybody just get to this point, and then we're going to walk through it one more time. I just want you to get to this point so we can walk through it one more time. Are we ready?
No, hold on. I got 2 left.
Okay, are we ready now?
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing we did was we saw that this angle was 40. So we did 180 minus 40 because we know this is the sum of the triangle, right? That means that 140 is left over for both of these. Since they're congruent, we divided by 2 and we got 70. That means that angle Q is equal to 70, but we need to find x. We know that it's 2x, so we said 2x equals 70. Is everybody with me? Now what do I do? And x equals? Hallelujah.
We got that right there. Right.
She's ignoring you.
I know you are.
Okay, now, what does this box mean?
90.
90 degrees. Awesome. Take a point if you said 90. Now, how can we work out this problem? We need to figure out what's left over, so what are we going to do? We can't set this equal to 90, but what can we do?
180 minus.
What is it? Like,
That's nice.
close.
Then we add it to 90 that equals 180.
We need to do 180 minus 90, and we get 90, right? So that's left over between these two. Since these two are congruent, what does that mean about the angles? They're congruent, right? They're not both 90 because 90 plus 90 plus 90 is 270. But what could we do with this 90 degrees to get both of our angles? Divide it by 2 and cut it in half, and what do you get? So 3x equals 45. Does everybody see how I got that 45?
Yeah.
And didn't I do the same thing that I did before? I did. You should be able to look over here and see that I did the same thing. Alright, what do I do now?
Divided by 3.
And x is 15. Yay! Okay, now apply what we just did to independent practice B. Independent practice B. It's not, it's the same thing, baby. What? It's the same thing. It's the same thing that we just did. It's just 5x instead of 3x.
Okay, so how do you
Okay, baby, we just did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
What does that little box at the top mean?
9.
Okay, so what are you going to subtract from 180?
9.
Okay, did you do that? Okay, now that means that your bottom two angles are now the same because of those tickies, correct? So what are you going to do with that 90? Okay, and then what are you going to set 5x equal to? Look at you go.
I'm kidding.
So did you really need me? You could have done that without me. You just needed to think for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that next time without mom, okay?
What'd you want?
None. All right, how many of us got 9? Take a point if you got 9. What's up?
Oh my gosh, this is such a tiny spot. I'm looking for a grade for the homework for the.
All right, I can't do that right now. Yeah, that has to be during senior period. Thank you. All right, did everybody get 9? Mazzaro, I need you.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop. Go team. All right, let's look at A. Independent practice A. What do those pieces mean about A and C?
They're congruent.
They're congruent. Ham sandwich. Children, it's like you've learned something. Now, if this is 6x plus 6, what does this equal?
6x plus 6.
Do we know what the sum of a triangle is?
No, oh, 180.
So could we add all these up and set it equal to 180? Let's do that. 2x plus, how many 6x plus 6's do we have? Look at the board.
2. Oh, Jesus.
2.
You
You could. And 2 times 6x plus 6 is the same thing as? Oh my God. 12x plus 12. You just distribute. It's basic algebra, taters. And half of you, I taught that. Get it together. Okay, now can I combine 2x and 12x? What's 2x plus 12x?
13x. 14x.
Okay, Miss Era? Remember that breathing and thinking we talked about? Okay. So now can you tell me what to do?
Yes.
Breathe and think. All right, what am I going to do?
You gonna subtract 1. I mean 12 180, right?
Look at you go. And what's 180 minus 12, taters?
168.
And then what do I do?
Divide
And x equals
12.
12. Okay, now let's walk through again what we just did. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
So the first thing we did was we recognized that A and C are congruent because my tickies. And then we added them all up and set it equal to 180 because it's a triangle. And we said 2 times 6x plus 6 because there's how many of those? Jeremiah, are you with me? Are you sure? Do I need to make you stand up? Okay, pumpkin. So we said 2x plus 2 times 6x plus 6 equals 180. Where did I get this 12x plus 12 from? I multiplied. Look at you go, baby. Take a point. And then I combined those, and I got 14x plus 12. What did I do next? And then do the same thing and do C without me. Go. Can you do C? Then do C. Harrison, do C, and don't wait for me to write it down. I've been watching you over there. You're in my line of sight. Nakia, are you going to do this problem?
Yeah.
No, that's not the attitude we're going to have. We're going to take longer than 3 seconds and look at the problem.
I've been looking for like 2 minutes.
No, you haven't, baby. We just started 30 seconds ago.
Would you add 3x and x together?
And something else.
180.
No, there's no 90 degrees.
Where did you get 90 from? Because they're
Hey, stop yelling at him. You crazy person.
They're 5x.
No, I got it.
Other way.
There's 2 x's.
Okay, and then there's also a what?
There's 3x.
Okay,
That's equal to 180.
all of them.
Oh.
Oh. Taylor, are you done working this problem out? Focus, honey. Nikki, are you done?
I did it.
Can you whisper to me what you got?
Like that. Like that. Like that.
I don't think that's correct, my love. Try again. Well, what's that other angle equal to? No. The sum of the triangle is 180. What's this other angle over here?
I know.
What do those tickies mean? So if this is x, what is that? Then add everything up that's in the triangle and set it equal to. Alright guys, these tickies mean that your angles are congruent. So if this is x, what is this one over here going to be? And then you're going to add them all up and set it equal to what? So you have x plus 3x equals 180. Now, you totally could have done that without me. Finish the problem if you're not done.
Add all those things together to get 4.
No, just get 5. What is 3 plus 2?
Miss Asbury.
She's right.
Is it 36?
Miss Asbury.
Oh.
Yes.
She right?
Yes.
She just said I was right.
A point.
Whoa.
Miss Asbury.
Stop. Did you get 36? Fantastic. Let's look at equilateral triangles. I know. Alright, what does it mean for a triangle to be equilateral?
All sides are equal.
All sides are equal. So put a ticky on all of those sides of our top one. And if it's equilateral, all the angles are
Congruent.
So put a rainbow on all of those angles. Take a point. He got the point. Get it out. Okay. It's on the board. Alright, so this says Each angle of an equilateral triangle is equal to 60 because they are all congruent. So you do 180 divided by 3, and that gives you 60. So all of these are 60. If all sides are congruent, all angles are 60. Yay. Are we ready? If all sides are congruent, then all angles are 60. Because 180 divided by 3 is 60. Because if the sides are congruent, the angles are congruent, which means you have 3 of the same. Now let's look at number 6. Are all the sides congruent? So what is the measure of angle F? So we're going to set 6x equal to? And what does x equal? 10. Because he's just saying things. Does everybody see how I got 10? Why don't you, where do you not see?
I don't see it.
What is 60 divided by 6?
No, but like, how'd you make it? 60.
Because if all the sides are congruent, then the angles equal what? If it's an equilateral triangle, the angles equal 60. So this is an equilateral. The angle equals 60. We said 6x equals 60. X equals 10. Okay. Are all the angles congruent here?
Yes.
Okay, so if the angles are congruent, what do we know about all the sides? They're congruent. The sides don't equal 60, just the angles. The sides are all congruent. So what are we going to do with 6x minus 5 and 5x? Look at you go. Take a point. What did you just say?
I said ridge. We will work on the ridge.
Okay. Raven, can you stop talking? Are you sure? Okay. All right, now what do? Subtract 6x, and I get negative 5 equals negative x. So what does x equal? 5. Please do number 8 without me.
Remember these from Rick? All right,
Look at you go. Why are you copying his paper?
I'm not copying. I'm just checking
Number 8. Number 8, number 8, number 8. Alright, what did you set 3x equal to? So what does x equal? How many of us got that right? If 3 people at your table got it right, take a point. Yeah. You get your points. Alright, are we ready for number 9? Okay. Now, number 9 says, this is a fun problem. It is. I know, but watch this trick. I'm going to simplify it. What do you notice about angle E and angle F? They're the same thing, so they're congruent. But since we have 2 tickies right here, that means that these are also congruent, right?
Correct.
So if all 3 angles are congruent, what do we set 4x minus 8 equal to? 60. Can you now find x without me?
Yeah.
Find x without me. Yes, you can. Don't be a baby.
56.
What?
No, Tater. You add 8 to both sides.
Where'd you get 56?
68. What's that?
When are you not?
I'm so sorry, Blake. I'm so sorry. I got 17. All right. So we got 4x equals 68 and x equals 17.
I got that right.
Look at you go. All right, so these tick marks mean what about 6y plus 3 and 8y minus 5?
Congruent.
So what are we going to do with them? All right, find y without me. 6y plus 3 equals 8y minus 5. We're almost done, and then we can do our homework so you don't have to take it home. You have barely done anything. You have copied down what I wrote on the board. That's it. She is. When she throat chops you, just know you deserve it.
But wouldn't the 5 be negative?
Yeah, but then if you subtract that 8y, that makes it negative 2y. I got y equals 4. Did y'all get 4? If 3 people got it right, take a point. Alright, I want you to do this problem without me. Number 14. Number 10. Number this. Nope. No, guys. I'm going to pass out your homework. Not due till June. Cut in half a chair.
Are you not going to be here next year?
Cut in half a chair. Yes, I'll be here. Cut in half a chair. Why would I not be here? Are you done? Alright, so this worksheet is your homework sheet. If you get it done, turn it into the tray, and you don't have homework except for your study guide, which I'm going to bring around and put on your tower. It is, well, you cut in half and share. Did y'all get x equals 20 and y equals 7? Yay! Alright, work on these. When you're done, you can turn it into the tray. Do what? Cut in half and share.